David Haye, what did you make of that tonight?
Up until the knockout, I thought he looked like he was rushing his work a little. He wasn't really getting it together. There was a few low blows. But once the opportunity arose for him to close the show, he did it, and he did it in emphatic style. That's what people pay to. That's why the heavyweight division is the most exciting division on the planet, is because people want knockouts, people want explosions. You know, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, all the Frank Bruno. This is what they do. They close the show. This is what people come to see heavyweight boxing for. His last fight against Kevin Johnson went 12 rounds, a learning fight, but he learned, I don't want to do that again. And tonight, he did not want to leave the fans feeling shortchanged, and not one person here are going to go and feel shortchanged. They got their money's worth out of this young heavyweight.
Richie.
He went through the gears very well, didn't he? And he stepped it up when he had to. He pushed him back to the ropes, and then a couple of low shots went in there. Me and Stephen spoke about it. His jab's exceptional. He's just got to relax a little bit more, Paul. I spoke to him about that in the gym last week. Occasionally he'll come off, and he's still got his hands very, very high.
Don't you think he's improving in that, Richie, compared to, say, a year ago?
Paul, that's a really good performance. That kid went 12 rounds with Nathan Gorman and 12 rounds with Joseph Parker. No matter how you look at it, that's a good performance. He's closed the show, as David says, and he's put in a real good display there. Power punching, couple of low ones as well. But you've got to be impressed with that. That's what we want to see from heavyweights. But let's see where he goes from here. I actually think he's learned more in his last two contests against Kevin Johnson and Tom Long. He's matured mentally. He's just got to relax a little bit more and keep working behind that jab and that straight right hand. They're his strengths.
I'll take you back to this same venue, 1992. Frank Bruno back after exile, knocks out John Emmon. It's the same punch. Split the screen, put it up. It's absolutely right. And here's the other thing. David said it. He mentioned it there in his little preamble there. If we were fighting here again next month, which is what happened in the 70s and the 80s, then this guy would fight again. And then the next time he fought, he'd have more people. This kid, if we came back here 6 months on the spin, you would not be able to get a ticket, because that's what they come for. David Haye's right. No disrespect to light middleweights and super middleweights. People come for knockouts. They got it tonight, and they got it in style.
But bigger picture, this is surely an issue, Steve. Daniel Dubois, and you mentioned the likes of Bruno, they were fighting here every 2 to 3 months. He's not been busy enough, has he?
In fact,
and I know he had a virus at the end of the year.
In their first 16 or so fights, they were fighting here every week and every third week, sometimes at Wembley. He needs to be busier, and I think he is going to be busier. And I think what we've seen now is he can go out again. Not quite in Leicester, in a couple of weeks' time. That's possibly too early. But why not in 4 weeks' time? Then why not in 6 weeks' time? And by the way, I challenge anybody to find a British boxer in his 10th fight who fought a guy with that guy's pedigree. Okay, we knew that he would win. We expected him to win on points. The way he did it, Rich, that was fantastic finishing. If he'd have gone 10 rounds, we'd have been happy. If he'd have maybe hurt him a couple of times, we would have been happy.
Yeah, I think, finally, Paul, in his first 12 months, he boxed 7 times. In the last 10 or 11 months, he's only boxed twice. He's got to be busier. If he's busier, he'll just get better and better.
But you did say this is a big step up tonight, Richie, and we all remember Frank, dear old Frank. You know, he was carefully managed along the way. Let's be honest, I know he was out every 3 or 4 weeks.
And hurt and stunned.
But he was winning all those easily. In the end.
The one thing missing, just quickly, the one thing missing from the heavyweight world, and David will agree with this, I know when we talked about it, is what we don't have Americans that want to have a go. Kevin Johnson doesn't want to have a go. That guy had a go tonight,
no,
and that's why he got the knockout.
But David, another element to this. What is more of a problem to the fans at the moment? Not seeing Fury and Joshua, or why not let these young men mature? And it can, as I think Frank suggested it can only get bigger. Why do you need to rush this fight at the moment?
I don't believe it's rushing them. You know, if you're the fact that they're both with the same promotional outfit makes things easy. I understand if they're both in rival networks, but very rarely do we get two good, young, hungry fighters willing to get in the ring with each other. And it's a 50-50 fight. You know, look at both of their records. Look at how both you can make an argument for why both could possibly win. I understand what you're saying. If they didn't fight each other for 2-3 years,
it's just that I'm enjoying the journey, you know, and we're seeing development in both of them.
Fans today, they want the action. They want to see the best fight the best. It's hard to say both of these guys are going to be world champions. Okay, let them fight each other, and the best goes forward. Maybe the loser comes back again. You know, it doesn't mean it's the end of the career.
I do think that's a fair comment.
They're so young. Both of them are so young at the moment. They could fight each other, they could lose, they could have 2 or 3 fights. As long as the competition's tight, as long as they're learning, as long as they're not getting hurt, I believe it's a great time for young heavyweights in Britain.